But I think people are finally ready to accept responsibility. And once the first people, the first fruits are seen by others, living good, prospering, and doing well from the state of mind, the state of spiritual condition that it takes to bring about true prosperity.
Prosperity.
You have to be able to work with others. You have to create a unity. A lot of people, the older they get, the less friends they have. I think, what's going on there? What is going on there? Why have you got less friends? You're getting older. Why? Well, is now the time that you need your friends?
What sort of friends have you got?
Well, that's true. But if you've got no friends, then is there no humanity in the world? Nobody's like you.
Some people say you should make friends of those who are better, or at least on your level.
Yeah, but why not make here's the real one. Make friends of your enemies, because if you do that, everything's cool. Everything's cool. If you can make friends with enemies, you've got humanity sussed right there. You've got it cracked. Everything after that is solvable.
What is that? Is that by complying with everyone's opinion to be their friend?
No.
At the cost of
agreeing
having
on matters, whatever the debate is, and not being an enemy.
No, but what if
are two different things?
What if you have a matter of principle and truth, and
agreeing to disagree,
and they have a conflicting
agreeing to disagree
of principle and truth? If they're an enemy to your truth, they can still be.
Well, they could be useful at sharpening my iron.
It depends. Yeah.
And trimming off.
Are they harmful more to themselves?
Not necessarily. It depends on your viewpoint and how you allow them to express themselves. Because once they've expressed that, sometimes the biggest harm we do is not allowing others to express their wrong opinion. Because after they've expressed that and they've blew all the wind out themselves, then they might be more ready to accept an alternative view. Yeah. It's like people going in the studio. They got this idea of the tune, and until they've done that version of it, they can't see anything else what you're saying. Do it like this and do it like that. So let them do that version first, and then when they've done that and they've got it out of the system, they say, right, how about we try another version of it, and it's totally different. Well, they've got that first version now, so it's all good, isn't it? We can do that now. They're more open to it. You see what I'm saying? So our way of teaching must also be to listen, as if we're being taught. Because how do you know how... The other day you were saying, well, how can you talk about Nietzsche without having read this book? Well, that's very true, but how can you know what to teach me? And what I am missing in my knowledge, what gaps in my knowledge need to be filled, if I don't tell you where I'm at.
Would you be relying on me to teach you? Maybe I'd have my own self-serving agenda.
No, I wouldn't. But I'd just hear your opinion, and then okay, Darren thinks like that about it. That's all it is. Agreeing to disagree, and accepting others for who they are, and accepting time for growth, because you'll be different in 20 years than you are now, today.
Really?
In your opinion.
Really?
We all
20
are.
years ago, I probably had the same opinion, I was then. I am now.
Well, you're fortunate to be in somewhere where you're comfortable, and those that find it early, they have a long life of blessings. Those that take a long time to discover it, well, it's all that hardship, isn't it? It's all that fussing and fighting, not realising what's causing the fussing and the fighting. You get rid of all them spiritual energies that are negative. You've got to get rid of them. You've got to make friendships with your enemies, or you'll go on feeling like that.
There are no enemies, we're all brothers and sisters.
Exactly, and that's what needs to be worked on, the family connection, not the fact that there's these differences, but the similarities, the things that are the same about all of us. That's the only way we get to it. And that's why everybody, when they buy something, what are they looking for? They're looking for something to make themselves feel better. But why would you want to feel better? Isn't the world
Because you
great?
perceive that you have a lack, which is
A
sin.
lack.
It's a distance from God. When you're not thinking that God is in your life, God is the present reality,
Yeah.
then any of this stuff, it's like it's a lack in your spiritual soul requirements of that understanding that everything's alright because God is a reality.
Uh-huh.
Everything else is peer pressure.
Yeah. Howdy, guy, so man.
Mr. Wolf.
It's funny. The myth, the cultural
What
reference.
time is it, Mr. Wolf? Oh,
Yeah.
it's Naphtali o'clock.
Yeah.
But Naphtali o'clock isn't Naphtali o'clock. It's a bloody living reality from north to south, and everyone in that place is going to be assigned Naphtali.
I think what's really important from what we're discussing is it's just important to have some kind of coordinates, some kind of value system, yeah. And it doesn't really matter what you call that value system, as long as we can convene and take the time, the patience required to grasp that the concepts are one and the same with the thing that we need to all be in agreement with. You know, if I say love, that's a big word. It means a lot of things to a lot of different people. And that's great. That's the sound bite that we need, isn't it?
Love.
Yeah. Well, it can't be hate. It can't be hate. We've seen the fruits of hate.
Yeah, but love, like I said before, is that thing which casts an illusory spell on things without understanding.
If you're taking it as what people thought love was in the time of
Understanding almost surpasses love. It's the basis of love. Once you can understand, you can really properly love.
If you're going to use words like understand from the legal point of view,
if you can talk that overstand,
if
you're talking about understand stuff, bollocks to it all.
Why?
When I say understand, I mean it's a level of comprehension.
I think you could only say bollocks to it if you know you're not doing anything wrong.
Integration of true knowledge. If God is above, and we understand God, that God is a reality, even if there's no vertical or horizontal plane with God that you can say God is above and we are below. God is kind of like
but
a little bit further.
That's you and God. That's you and God, and that relationship is unfathomable.
No, it's fathomable. It's got to be fathomable.
When nobody else has any authority over that relationship you have.
Everyone else will get it because everyone else will have the same relationship.
You hope.
They will have
Clearly in this world,
if God can do it to me, God can do it to everyone.
Of course He can. But I'm saying let's start where we're at. Let's recognise where
we're at.
The solution thing for the problem that we have is to recognise that people have lost that connection you're talking about there. They don't respect your God because they don't even have a God themselves, many of them. That connection to what is ethical, what is moral, what is duty, all of that, that's an internal thing. Every single human being is answerable for their own ethics, their own morals and their own thinking. You know? And, that's why it says, just to think it is a sin and it'll lead on to other things if you're not careful.
Through a broken relationship with the knowledge.
Yeah, the hatred and fear are not the tools needed to fix the problem. Love is the tool.
I don't know.
That is all encompassing.
Certain things have to be hated.
Love is the framework.
Internal things to do with
the construct.
Ignorance.
Right, love is God, and God is love. Right, that's the God that we want. Love is God, and God is love. That's the God that we want. That's the God that's described in the Bible.
It's love and understanding. There's a level of comprehension.
Yeah, and that's mentioned in the Bible. Get ye understanding.
Truth, truth and love. But again, the quality of the love is dependent on the quality of the truth.
But there is a,
like I say, with comprehension, the illusion of love, the misty, the flowery, cloudy nature of love becomes properly comprehended, that you can truly love another person as you love yourself, because to love yourself is to have achieved a level of comprehension.
Don't get lost though in the stuff that makes up love, the atoms and the attracting forces between,
Love is,
you know, the
love,
substance of love.
Love is nice, but it comes with understanding. Otherwise, you can imagine any. Oh, but I love him. And it's like, oh, you really.
Well, we're refining it. We're refining this thing.
I love this.
More and more.
I love that. It's.
Yeah, know what love is, and that's why that discussion we had.
No.
You know, on the sophists.
Understand.
Mm-hmm.
Have a real grasp of the truth, and love loses its illusory nature and becomes something which is
Practical, useful.
Not more meaningful.
That too. That's why I say it truly is the benchmark. It's the thing to measure by, and you measure yourself. Is there enough love in you? Are you doing loving things? When I say more
meaningful, I say more relevant to a Messiah life.
The only solution is to help. Help with the solutions, not to help pull more problems. People can get overwhelmed with the amount of problems. Choose one thing to deal with and fix it, and don't stop until it's fixed. It's as simple as that. Everyone say, 10 problems a day, and the government can't fix it. Okay, but can you solve one of those? Mr. Point at everybody and say they're doing it wrong. Could you, in that position, do it right? Well, do it, because that's what's needed. And only that. Yeah? And if you don't balance yourself with that, then you're really part of the problem. You know? And all that does is create enemies with people, because everyone's frustrated, nobody knows what to do. You know? And we need to get out of that.
We've got to understand each other and ourselves.
Yeah, overstand the things man has written. Overstand those things. You understand God, but that's, like I said, that's your personal relationship. No one can tell you or has the authority to tell you how that relationship exists and what it is and define it for you. Only for themselves. That's what true sovereign is all about. That's what true being have that relationship, and that's it.
No way. We've got to do what I do.
Well, you will see that manifests.
I don't have to worry about that, Jules. I just have to play my part.
The image of God is in everybody's face. Okay, therefore that's a sound bite for saying every human being you see has this potential. Okay, and what we need to do is draw it out. And you draw out the potential back with love. Okay, that's all it needs. You know, whatever when we think it's bad, it's not really bad. Because we should be grateful still for what we do have. And you'll know that little more, a week, 2 weeks, that's no longer the problem. Problem's been fixed. Solution think. Not problem think.
Listening to it.
You say. Alright, no. Am I externalising that? I don't know. But you say you perceive there's something coming, something big.
Yeah.
A big fight, you say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, the big fight has already been won and lost. It's like, Jacob's ladder, Jacob's pillar. That the overcoming of the self, the wrestling with the angel that you find out really it's yourself and your own principles, and you have to be reborn. And you have to decide what kind of human being do you want to be, because this may have been done to you. However, life, what's more important, you put your whole of your life and that which you don't even yet know you could achieve with the life you have, versus let's stop in this moment and forever regret. Like post-traumatic stress and all the rest of it, and the recurring nightmare. I've seen a massive transformation in the way human beings are behaving towards each other. And we've all got to be prepared to accept that if the problem's not them, then it's in us.
It's usually us, because it's a level of personal development in terms of comprehension. And
well, I think I'd go a step further and say it's always us. And when the other comes to us, it's simply a matter, because if you're not dealing with the responsibility, guess what? There is no escaping causality. Yeah, just like the Frenchman said. That's why he's been around for all that time.
Well, I said
If
before,
you know
I said
cause and
before,
effect.
that's the cause and effect, as Nietzsche would say, isn't necessarily fully established as a reality. There is just a
You could create causes all the time, which create new effects.
Event,
But if you're just sitting back and watching things
does that
unfold,
make a consequential event,
yeah,
or just an event which almost habitually follows another event?
yeah. That's what I said. We're not just amoebas. We're not just brains in jars. We actually can have an effect. Response ability. Or we can react to stimulus, whichever way you want to put it. By not reacting from whatever time to whatever time, from 1950 to now, us not having a say, not having a political interest, not having an awareness and a keen awareness of these things and the causality and what makes things happen, it's led to this. But on the bright side, we've woke up now, because so much of it's happened. You can't be asleep unless you really are dumb, on fluoride, and don't want to know, because it scares you.
I've just been thinking about cause and effect, about how easy it was for me to say, there's no established relationship between cause and effect. One event follows another event. But and Nietzsche wrote something like that similar. So it's easy for me to say that, but following thought was like, okay, well, I've been reading recently the Dhammapada, which, like other sorts of holy scriptures, says that those who sow good deeds will reap good fruits, and those who sow evil deeds will reap evil fruits. Whether today, tomorrow, or in the future, or in the karma of preceding, following lives or whatever. But then, where did it go? It was a really nice thought.
Well, I'll give you an example, and this is from why government has a massive responsibility to get it right and to listen, because it could have an effect for generations.
That's it. But then I was thinking, okay, well, if these are just holy lies that we're saying, that if you do bad, then you'll receive bad. That would tend to lead to a position where, Job, you must have done something bad because look, your house is falling and
you've been
dead. Just repent and ask forgiveness. It's a different thing when you're dealing with like a spiritual relationship between God, which is sufficiency, and.
Well, he ended up getting vexed with his friend, didn't it? It's like,
But if you have to tell the holy lie now, could you make it so that you would will it to be so? If you had the choice of how you would try and influence the Father into how he makes his decisions, that if he sowed evil deeds, I will it to be so that you will reap evil fruits.
Well, did you get the synchronicity? As I did when reading Job,
as if you will it to be so, even if it's a myth, you want it to be so, you will it to be so, because you think that is what would be a nice cause and effect.
I will say this: people who study enough will realise that we self-prophesise